Hi viewers, welcome to the Grammar channel. Today we are going to learn about the story writing format, how to write a story with a given hints and characters and all that. There are different kinds of stories such as fairy tales, fables, folk tales, legends, adventure and stories from the lives of great men and so on. So, before going to start writing stories, we should always keep in mind the following points. First and foremost, a story must not be too big or too small. And the story must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Middle portion and a conclusion. So, story is generally written in past tense form, always in the past form. To make the narrative more interesting, some dialogues or conversations can be included in the middle of the stories. The story must have an interesting conclusion, meaning there should be some moral or value that a reader gets. The power of imagination plays a very vital role in writing a story. You must have some imagination power to make the story very, very interesting and impressive. To begin with, the format. Title. The title of the story must be interesting, catchy, and it should evoke curiosity among readers. Planned and logical series of events must be reflected, and the events should not deviate the story from its theme. There must be an interesting theme of the story, which is the controlling idea of the story. So, you have to decide on the plot and develop your story according to the plot. The depiction of the characters must be engaging and convincing. So, the characters that you are introducing must be very, very engaging and it should have active parts in the story. Language of the story must suit the theme and the plot. It should be as per the setting of the story. The moral of the story must be very clear. It should communicate some message to the readers. So, the following are some characteristics of a good story. A story must be precise and short. The chief component of a story includes its theme, which forms the idea of the story, and its characters, which must be realistic and thinking and feeling individuals. The setting should have the backdrop and mood of the story. The plot must depict a series of events in a well-organized manner. Always remember, the scheme events should lead to an ending which is unexpected and surprising. The most distinctive feature of a story is to leave behind an impression on the readers. Now, let's have a quick recall. Heading should be catchy, very, very short. It should give some idea about the story. Then the characters. When you write a story, you have to decide who will be in the story, what are the characters that you are going to involve in the story. The people in a story are called characters. So, before you start to write, think about the characters you might put in your story. What will each character do? Why is he or she important in the story? And what can your characters learn from each other? And one last thing you should remember, the characters do not always have to be people. If an animal plays a part in the story, that animal is a character too. Then setting. A story has to happen in a place. The place where a story happens is called the setting. So the setting must be a place you are familiar with, or it can even be another planet. A setting does not even have to be a real place. It can be imaginary. The details. When you write a story, you use your imagination to see everything that happens. Details help readers understand how something looks like or how it feels, how it sounds, even how something smells or tastes. So it should be very narrative, descriptive in detail. Then the plot. Once you have decided on your characters and setting, and made them come alive with details, your characters have to do something. What your characters in the story do is the plot of your story. That is the theme. Then the main content that should have information, a reaction, factual information, and so on. So you should kickstart your story with a catchy beginning that grips your readers right away. The characters should be introduced in a dramatical way. Expose the story and let your characters react, evolve, and reach towards the main conflict. And the conclusion, you're going for a happy one or an open ending, that's left to you, but make sure at least some of the issues, if not all of them, get resolved by the end. So complete your story with happily ever after.